Hello friends, a Chinese AI DeepSeek has shaken the world. American tech companies and the US stock market have been shocked to such an extent that they could not have ever imagined.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call.
It was on 20th January 2025, a Chinese research lab launched its AI chatbot. It is renamed DeepSeek R1. Along with it, they have published a research paper where they stated that this chatbot is much better than most advanced chatbots in the world across benchmarks like maths and reasoning. It includes OpenAI's ChatGPT R1 model, Meta's Llama, Google's Gemini Advance. It has overthrown all of them. DeepSeek is the best in terms of performance. It is the most efficient and it only took a fraction of the time and money to develop it. But the most amazing thing is that it is completely free of cost. On the other hand, OpenAI is charging $200 per month to use its ChatGPT R1 Pro model. Not only that, the cost of training DeepSeek is reported to have been only $5.6 million, whereas other Chinese companies, whether it is OpenAI, Meta or Google, are spending billions of dollars to develop their artificial intelligence models. Coincidentally, a while back, when OpenAI's founder Sam Altman was asked,
to build foundational models, how should we think about that? With, not 100 million, but let's say 10 million could actually build something truly substantial.
He answered arrogantly that no one can do it except them. People can try, but he said that it would be hopeless. It is totally hopeless to compete with us in the training foundation model.
It's totally hopeless to compete with us on training foundation models. You shouldn't try, and it's your job to try anyway.
Today, Sam may be feeling hopeless because just a week after DeepSeek's launch, DeepSeek became the most downloaded app in the USA on the App Store and Google Play Store. It has left behind ChatGPT. The next day in India and other countries as well, it became #1 app on the App Store. And by 27 January, it had disrupted the American financial market.
Launch of DeepSeek, which is a Chinese-built chatbot, immediately rattled investors and wiped a staggering $1 trillion off the US tech index.
Before DeepSeek was launched, the most valuable company in the world was Nvidia, valued at $3.5 trillion. But in just one day, it dropped to $2.9 trillion. This is a computer chip manufacturing company which specializes in making those computer chips which can be used to train and operate AI. Nvidia shares fell 17% in a single day and its valuation lost around $590 billion. This is the biggest loss faced by any company in the history. The benchmark of USA tech companies, Nasdaq, dropped by around 3%. But why did Nvidia suffer such a big loss specifically? We will talk about the interesting reason later in this video. But before that, let's find out the story behind DeepSeek. Where did this AI come from and why has it shocked the entire world? The credit for developing DeepSeek goes to a 40-year-old Chinese entrepreneur, Liang Wenfeng. Look at his face carefully because you will hardly see him anywhere. He rarely makes public appearances and prefers to keep his identity hidden. There is not much information about his life and history available to the public. But we do know that in 2015, he founded a hedge fund called High Flyer. It used mathematics and AI to make investments. In 2019, he founded High Flyer AI to research artificial intelligence algorithms. In May 2023, he used the money he was earning from his hedge fund to start a side project of creating an AI model. Liang said that he wanted to create his own AI model which would be better than all the existing AI models in the world. Simply because of scientific curiosity. He didn't aim to make money and earn a lot of profit. To make this AI model, when he started to gather his research team, he didn't hire engineers. Instead of engineers, he hired PhD students from China top universities. To train his AI model, he used the most difficult questions around the world, and within just 2 years and after spending a few $1 million, he launched his DeepSeek R1 model. It is super impressive.
Super impressive. I think we should take the development out of China very, very seriously.
DeepSeek just taught us that the answer is less than people thought. You don't need as much cash as we once thought.
Only 200 people were involved in making it, and 95% of the people are under 30 years of old. Compare this to a company like OpenAI, which has more than 3,500 employees. Today, DeepSeek in China is the only AI firm which is not funded by tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, ByteDance, etc. It is quite interesting to understand its architecture. DeepSeek is a chain of thought model, just like OpenAI's ChatGPT R1 model. That's the chain of thought model too. The naming can be quite confusing because ChatGPT has a weird naming system for its model. They are quite similar to each other. So for a basic understanding, let me tell you that The first publicly launched model was ChatGPT 3. It was in year 2022 in November. And then in March 2023, they launched ChatGPT 4. It was much better than GPT 3. And then in May 2024, we got GPT 4o. A multimodal version of GPT-4. Not only could you chat with it using text, you could actually speak to it, send photos, it could analyze photos and even generate photos for you. That's why it is called a multimodal. Then on 12 September 2024, OpenAI launched its O1 model. It was the first model based on chain of thought. When you ask questions, it tried to think while answering. And by thinking, we mean whenever it generated an answer, before giving an answer, it thinks about the possible counter questions to check whether the answer it generated could be improved. It analyzed each answer from different angles before answering your question. This is known as chain of thought. It attempts to copy humans' reasoning process. For example, you ask GPT-4o, 9.11 and 9.9, which one is bigger? It answers without thinking too much that 9.11 is bigger than 9.9, which is wrong. But when you ask the same question to GPT-O1, it thinks first. Before giving an answer, it counter questions itself whether the answer is correct. In our case, it kept thinking for 18 seconds, but the final answer was correct. 9.9 is actually bigger. But if you ask the same thing to DeepSeek, you will get the right answer. The older AI models had a huge shortcoming, but the chain of thought process has now removed this shortcoming. This is why models like O1 and DeepSeek are being called advanced reasoning models. They are much better at logically answering questions. Another positive aspect of DeepSeek is that it shows you exactly what it is thinking, step by step and in great detail before answering. Like, I told it to give me a truly original insight about humans. So it started thinking, okay, let me think of something that makes human unique. And then it countered itself. But those are pretty well known. The user wants something original. Maybe I should dig deeper now. And these traits interacts in unexpected ways. And if you are following along with this answer, you can pause the video at any point to read it. You will notice that it is trying to answer this question from different angles. You can watch this process play out on screen, how long it thinks and the numerous possibilities it considered before giving you a final answer. It finally answered after a lot of thinking that humans are the only species to use storytelling as a cognitive exoskeleton. But when I asked this question to ChatGPT 4, it answered instantaneously. It didn't think much and give you the first answer it came up with. Similarly, if you ask the older chatbots to select a random number, they will instantly select a number for you. But if you ask a chain of thought model to do this, you will think a long time about this prompt too. Look at the screen recording. Poor DeepSeek was stuck thinking about which number to choose. Should it give a commonly used number or should it generate a number between 0 and 1? It takes 42 as an example, but it is worried that it might be glitched. It considered 17, it considers 73, and then it wonders if it needs to select a number between 1 and 100 or should it go beyond this range. Because the user wants a completely random number, it is worried that no matter what it chooses, it won't be completely random. It is just like a person who overthinks, but finally it answers. It adds that it chooses to keep the range from 1 to 100 and then choose the number 42. After DeepSeek's release, its biggest downside is said to be censorship. To all these sensitive questions, DeepSeek will give you a same answer. Sorry, I'm not sure how to approach this type of question yet. Let's talk about maths, coding and logical problems instead. Hence, the important point here is that DeepSeek is an open source software. Its code is publicly available. Anyone can download it locally. So one way to use DeepSeek is to download its app from the App Store or Google Play Store, and the other way is to download its entire code and run this AI locally on your computer screen. By doing this, you can change its code and modify it yourself according to your use and case. Other American companies have already begun doing this, like Perplexity AI. They downloaded the DeepSeek R1 model, erased all censorship, and now you can use R1 model in Perplexity. Microsoft did this too. Look at the news article from 29 January. The DeepSeek R1 model is now available on Azure A1 Foundry. And they have announced that soon you will be able to use this model in Copilot. And because it is open source, companies like OpenAI, which has the word open in its name, actually these companies had promised that they will work for the public and will keep everything open source. But in reality, they didn't do that. Elon Musk has often trolled OpenAI, calling it a closed AI. And today, this Chinese AI is more open than OpenAI. I would also like to show you a performance comparison. Among the top AI chatbots available today, OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic Claudia, Google's Gemini, Alibaba, another Chinese company, has Q1 2.5 Meta, Facebook's parent company has Llama. If these are compared with the DeepSeek, what would be the results? According to artificial analysis, in terms of coding, DeepSeek is at the top, followed by ChatGPT, Claude, Qwen, and then finally Llama. In a quantitative reasoning, DeepSeek is at the top, then ChatGPT, then Qwen 2.5. In terms of scientific reasoning and knowledge, ChatGPT is at the top. The DeepSeek, then Claude, and then finally Llama. When PCMag tested AI chatbots, they found that DeepSeek is the best in terms of knowledge related to news. In calculations, ChatGPT and DeepSeek are equal. In terms of writing poems, ChatGPT wins. As in creating tables, but for solving riddles, DeepSeek is the best. The artificial analysis website has rated ChatGPT O1 90 on quality and DeepSeek R1 89. But a major disadvantage for the DeepSeek is its response time. Look at this graph showing latency. The number of seconds it takes to get a response after asking a question. O1 takes 31.15 seconds and DeepSeek takes 71.22 seconds. And this response time is actually increasing in recent days because DeepSeek has become so popular all over the world that everyone wants to download and use it. Because of this, they are facing issues with their servers. They run busy and so it starts taking much longer to respond. And this is a major disadvantage. If you compare ChatGPT O1 and DeepSeek, to a large extent, DeepSeek is much more innovative than O1. One of the examples is the mixture of experts method. When you ask ChatGPT O1 something, it works on a single model. Whatever you question, ChatGPT will be your engineer, doctor, and lawyer. But DeepSeek has divided itself into multiple specialized models. DeepSeek has separate engineer, doctor, and lawyers. Depending on your question, only the engineer or only the doctor would be called. With this, the time taken for data transfer is reduced. That to be turned on is also reduced. In traditional models, 1.8 trillion parameters are always active. DeepSeek has 671 billion parameters, but only 37 billion parameters are active at once. The remaining parameters are activated only when the need arises. This increases its efficiency manifold, while reducing the cost. Now, another point of criticism being made against DeepSeek is that they have copied their AI model entirely from OpenAI. OpenAI claims that it has evidence showing that DeepSeek has used its proprietary models to train itself. They claim to have distillation evidence where the output from bigger model is used to improve the performance of smaller AI models to help smaller models give the same results at lower cost. Someone tweeted about the robber has now been robbed. The thing is, to some extent, ChatGPT has copied things from all over the internet to train itself. Many books were used without the permission of the authors to train their models. This is the reason why 17 renowned writers, including the Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin, filed a copyright infringement suit against OpenAI in September 2023. The New York Times has also filed a case against OpenAI and Microsoft. Other than this, 8 American newspapers and many Canadian news outlets have filed cases on OpenAI. This is the reason such memes have gone viral. Where OpenAI is fishing, it keeps the fishes it catches in its bucket, and DeepSeek gets fishes from that bucket. As users, it is good for us, but at the country and the company level, we are seeing the beginning of AI wars. In 2022, the American government imposed export control, so the computer chips needed to train AI cannot be used by other countries, especially Chinese AI companies. It included NVIDIA's H100 chips. Chinese companies were unable to buy it. This was problematic for DeepSeek because they had to use NVIDIA's older computer chips to train their AI models. America tried its best to prevent any other company from developing foundation AI models like theirs by denying them the computer chips required to train AI models. And so, the people working in DeepSeek were forced to innovate. They created a software that uses only a fraction of the resources and works more efficiently at only a fraction of the cost. Friends, this is why NVIDIA's stock fell the most. Because still a few months ago, companies like Meta, OpenAI, and Google were claiming that if we want to scale AI to a higher level, we will need more chips, more energy, and more money. But DeepSeek has done all of this by using less money, less energy, and outdated computer chips. We should look at it as a motivation. It can be done anywhere in the world. Thank you very much.